What if everything you thought you knew about the sister wives family was a lie? This question becomes central as Mykelti Brown and Tony Brown revisit earlier seasons of the show and begin openly challenging the narrative given by the adults. Mykelti and Tony are rewatching the show, especially season 6, and their reactions have brought a direct contradiction to what was previously broadcast. They are openly calling the adults liars, and their claims focus on 3 areas: lies about money, lies about relationships, and lies about polygamy itself. As they continue their rewatch, they emphasize that what they exposed could completely change how fans see this family forever. During their review process, they are watching old seasons, currently season 6, and sharing reactions in real time through their material. Their perspective is based on real experience as they are seeing things as adults now, contrasting what was shown on television with what they experienced growing up. This comparison shows inconsistencies between the televised narrative and their real upbringing. The transition becomes clear when they say, and what they're noticing is deeply disturbing. A key event they analyze is the Unleave panel discussion, where the Brown family appeared alongside former members of polygamous communities. The panel setting was tense, combative, and emotional, and according to their observations, adults, especially Cody and Robin, became aggressive. Individuals who shared negative experiences with polygamy were challenged, and in some cases, their stories were dismissed. Mykelti and Tony's reaction to this panel was direct. They described several answers as lies and voiced dissatisfaction with how their parents handled the discussion. One of the most specific issues raised during the panel concerned finances. The Browns were asked whether they had suffered financially. The public response made at the time was, "We were doing great." However, Mykelti's claim directly contradicts that remark. She stated that that was not true and provided details including bankruptcy filings, reliance on food stamps, and conditions of extreme poverty. According to her account, the children experienced limited resources, including meals consisting of MREs and stale bread, along with a lack of proper clothing. This contrast is summarized in the statement. They were painting a perfect picture while living a completely different reality. Another significant issue raised involves how the Browns responded to individuals sharing trauma related to polygamy. During the panel, a young woman identified as Colleen-related experiences of neglect, abuse, and life in a large polygamous family. The response from the Browns included denial and dismissal of those charges. A specific moment featured Robin directly challenging the speaker, questioning the validity of her experience. Mykelti's stance on this interaction was clear, saying that invalidating such experiences was not acceptable. Tony's reaction was summarized in his comment that the situation was a travesty. In addition to public interactions, Mykelti reveals details about internal family conditions at the time of filming. She claimed that Christine was struggling deeply at that time, dealing with severe depression, doubting her marriage, and questioning polygamy. These internal struggles were not mirrored in the show's presentation. The reason offered suggests that Christine may have avoided truth to protect herself emotionally, leading to a contrast between appearance and reality. This is mirrored in the statement. What looked like confidence on TV was actually someone breaking inside. Further analysis focuses on Robin's communication patterns, particularly in therapy meetings shown on the series. Observations suggest that Robin constantly uses we and frequently speaks for the entire family. According to Mykelti and Tony critique, this behavior results in her imposing a unified narrative that may not reflect individual views. Statements such as "we are doing great" and "we are united" were presented as group truths, even though other wives were silent or disagreeing internally. This pattern led to a consistent portrayal of unity that did not match with individual experiences. A major discovery from their rewatch is that the wives were never truly friends. According to the breakdown provided, Janelle and Christine kept a relationship that was friendly, not close, while Mary and others primarily interacted in connection to the show. There was no genuine sisterhood, and the idea of a cohesive group was not supported by their actual experiences. This is summarized in the sentence, "They tolerated each other, they didn't love each other." As a result, the widely presented picture of a unified and supportive family is described as completely staged. The discussion also addresses the time when the family lived in Lehi, where they occupied a single house divided into separate apartments. According to Mykelti, there was minimal contact between wives, while kids interacted more than adults. The environment included ongoing conflict, and the structure did not result in unity. An important detail is that multiple wives wanted to leave even before the show started filming. This leads to the conclusion that the show didn't reveal the truth, it hid it. The entry of Robin into the family is marked as a turning point. At that time, the family was already unstable, and according to Mykelti and Tony's viewpoint, Robin imposed a new version of polygamy. The resulting dynamics included Cody favoring Robin, while others were forced to change. A symbolic moment highlighted involves Robin holding Cody's hand, while other wives were physically and mentally distanced. This interaction is interpreted as an example of power, control, and dominance within the family system. Cody's part in maintaining the public narrative is also examined. His behavior included supporting Robin's story of events and pushing a perfect family narrative. At the same time, accounts say that he ignored other wives' needs. This dynamic is summarized in the statement, "He didn't just go along with the lie, he helped create it." This suggests active participation in shaping the story rather than passive acceptance. The broader issue identified concerns the representation of polygamy itself. The Browns' public stance was to normalize polygamy, but according to the claims presented, they presented a false version. The effects include invalidating real victims and spreading harmful narratives. Individuals who shared negative experiences were essentially told that didn't happen and that's not real polygamy. This disconnect between representation and truth is presented as a central worry. Further discussion addresses systemic issues linked with polygamous structures, including abuse, competition between wives, and neglect of children. Mykelti's admission includes recognition that kids can be mistreated by other wives, particularly in environments where emotional tension is high. The analysis shows that emotional suppression leads to resentment and harm affecting both adults and children. This is summarized in the sentence, "What was hidden behind family values was something much darker." The rewatch process marks a turning point, as the kids are finally speaking out. Mykelti and Tony are calling out lies openly, shifting the narrative from a portrayal of unity to one of contradiction and exposure. This transition is defined as moving from perfect family to exposed truth. The culmination of these findings is captured in the statement, "After years of silence, the truth is finally being told." The discussion ends with direct engagement questions. Do you think the Browns lied? And was this all staged from the beginning? Viewers are urged to analyze the information presented, share their perspectives, and evaluate whether the inconsistencies found align with their understanding of the series. The final question remains, because if this is true, what else haven't they told us?